Let's think a little bit more about our perfect dream cars. Most cars nowadays have a navigation system built in. What does a navigation system do? It gives you steps on how to get where you're going. Now, a navigation system is kind of like setting a goal. Think back on things you would like to accomplish. Let us look at the next section of our workbook titled My Road Ahead, the 6 Steps on Reaching a Goal. These will list the things necessary to make our goals reachable. Let's follow along with the 6th grader named Jorge on the steps on reaching our goals. This is Jorge. One of his favorite subjects in school is math. Jorge uses math a lot. He uses it when he's playing soccer, or when he's using it to follow directions to bake cookies for his mother. Jorge loves math. To challenge himself, Jorge wanted to get an A on his math test. Jorge started with the first step in the goal naming process, and that is to name it. Jorge named his goal by saying, "I will get an A on the math test next Monday." But before Jorge can work on his goal, he has to make sure that his goal fits the 4 characteristics of the goal naming criteria. The first criteria is that it has to be personal. Is Jorge's goal personal? Why, he's the one that wants to get an A on the math test, so it's personal for him. It is his goal and not somebody else's. So, why do you think a goal must be personal? Very good. If it's not personal to you, why would you care? Very good. Next, a goal must be possible. Do you think Jorge has what it takes to pass with an A on the next Monday's math test? I think so. Jorge loves math, and he does all his homework every night. He also does extra work to make sure he's mastered the method. I think Jorge's goal is very possible. Don't you? Why does a goal need to be possible, you think? That's right. Goal has to be possible, or you're going to get discouraged if you don't complete it. Next, a goal must be positive. Jorge didn't say, "I won't fail my math test next Monday." He said confidently, "I will get an A on my math test." You are more likely to accomplish a goal if it's a positive one and not a negative one. Finally, a goal has to be specific to let you know you've reached it. Jorge just didn't say, "I want to do well on my math test." He said, "I want to get an A." Very specific grade on Monday, a very specific date. So, Jorge will know he's reached his goal when he aces his test on Monday. So now that we know Jorge has met the 4 goal naming criteria, will that guarantee that he's going to do well and reach his goal of getting an A on his math test next Monday? No. Let's go over the next steps to make sure Jorge gets an A on his math test. What is the second step in the goal naming process? That's right. It's to picture yourself reaching your goal. Jorge closed his eyes and envisioned himself receiving his math test back next Monday with a giant A in red letters written on it. Why do you think it's important to picture yourself reaching your goals? That's right. When you picture yourself and visualize yourself reaching your goals, you know what you're working towards and can visualize what you need to do to make sure your goal gets done. First step is to say I can. I can. Why do you think saying I can is important in the goal naming process? That's right. Saying I can gives you that extra boost of confidence. It gives you what you need to make sure you could reach your goal. Saying I can is the third step in the goal naming process.
Taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
What is the fourth step in the goal naming process? That's right. It's to think how to do it. Once you've named your goal, it is very important to think of what you need to do to reach your goal. Look on the side of the workbook on Jorge's to-do list. What are some of the things he could do and things he needs to accomplish to reach his goal of getting an A on the math test next Monday? That's right. Study extra hours, do all his homeworks, review the night before, make sure he's well rested. Those are all essential things Jorge needs to do to make sure he's doing what he needs to do to get an A on the math test next Monday. Now, thinking of how to do it doesn't just include the steps you need to take. It also requires you thinking about the resources you need to accomplish your goal. What did Jorge put under resources? Let's look at Jorge's resources. Who are the people and things Jorge wrote down to make sure that he could accomplish his goal? That's right, his math teacher, Mrs. Isosceles, and his brother Sebastian. Those are a list of resources and people he could count on. What other resources did Jorge use, according to the workbook? That's right, he used his math book and an online program to make sure he mastered math techniques and methods. Jorge was ready for the fifth step in the goal naming process, and that is to go for it. Jorge put an extra effort and time with his math teacher, Miss Isosceles, and when he didn't understand a problem, he went to his brother Sebastian for help. Jorge also watched a lot of YouTube videos on equations and methods to make sure he understood the problems and questions correctly. And on the day of Monday, when he took his math test and got it back, there was a big A written on top by Miss Isosceles. So, Jorge did everything he could and went for it, which was the fifth step in the goal naming process. Jorge was ready for the sixth and final step of the goal naming process. He celebrated his success. Yay, Jorge! Jorge told himself good job and celebrated with his friends later on that day. Good job, Jorge. So let's review the steps in the goal naming process. The first step is to name it. Make sure that it is personal to you, possible, positive, and specific, of course. The second step is to picture ourselves reaching it. The third step is to say, I can. The fourth step is to think of the things to do and the resources required to reach our goal. The fifth step is to go for it. And the sixth step is to celebrate our success. Yay! Those are the steps in the goal naming process.